This one is a bit more, it's a bit more conceptual, right? So it has to do a lot with where media is going to be or living or consumed on the internet. Um, one theory is a splitter net theory, which is the a theory that the internet's getting more fragmented because of different political actors. We have a Facebook here, a version of Facebook here, a version of Facebook there. Maybe it'll get even more fragmented along the road. And then the other theory, also related to how media might be consumed or moving around the internet in the future, is the dead internet theory, which is, as you might know, it's just the idea that in the future most of the internet or content would be generated content, so synthetic data or dead. I'm not sure if that's really dead per se, but yeah, there's two theories about how media on the internet is going to be. So however we want to break it up and and approach it. I think one note I had here in terms of the splitter net theory that I'd wanted to share is that because of the because of the fragmentation, there's some services that will offer consumers the ability to counter these regulations. So, for example, like VPNs, right? If I'm in a certain country and there's increasing regulations, then VPNs will let me access content anywhere. Rise of those services, um, or other services that are like anti-polarization, like ground news that can reveal to you like where you are in this fragmented internet. It helps you kind of like locate. Okay, so this internet that I'm seeing is actually this version of the internet that's like maybe very left leaning or very right leaning, etc., etc. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that in this space, the idea of just aggregating data in in a way that just gives them confidence in the accuracy of what they're getting. It's like that's a huge opportunity because think about the margins on a business that is just gathering free information and then selling it to people. Like you're basically just creating value from essentially nothing. But it is really valuable because I mean Google is just useless now. I can't get any valuable information from it, I think 80% of the time. Like now I just pretty much use Perplexity or ChatGPT as just like my search engine for finding information. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, like I'm gonna go straight to the point and I'm just gonna Google this one. And it really does just like let you down every time. But still, on the other hand, Perplexity, ChatGPT, they're not really perfect. They're a little too generalized tools. They're known to hallucinate all the time, and you should still take that with a grain of salt as well. The way that it started when the internet was fresh, like when we had the early days of like YouTube and Google and all of that, it was all humans that were putting stuff out there, and that was just them sharing, their information. And now we're just looking at like every day there's probably more data flowing through the internet every single day than there would have been in like an entire like year or something in the early days. So the idea of like, oh, there should be a search engine that probably worked when the internet was like 1,000th of the size that it is today. And now it's almost like there's, the internet is less of like a fixed place where, I feel like growing up, people would always say to me like, hey, be careful what you post online because that's there forever. Well, like that's not like even really necessarily true because apparently like 75% of the web pages that existed before 2005, like they just don't even really exist anymore. And it's almost like the internet is more of just like a very destructured, decentralized broadcast that's not really much different from TV, where it's not like you're putting something on the internet and it's there to exist forever. But now we're in this age of algorithms where it's just a constant flow, and then after that goes, well, then it's past.
Right.
yeah, it's not. I feel like there's just a shift.
Really interesting perspective on like content. On like so it's like not like everything we see is new. It's just it's a stream rather than as you said, like in the case of like all of the old articles are gone and whatnot. It's not as like search and index as it was before. It's kind of just what's in your feed, how your algorithm is built determines what this stream is. There's something there.
Yeah.
It's still this is still kind of very loose and conceptual, but I think there's something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very, very loose reaction, but, I would say that, that really, like, the general opportunity with just, like, what you're talking about with, like, the splitter net and also the dead internet theory is that, like, everybody has their own individualized experience on the internet, and that is gonna continue to get more and more customized, and while this isn't really a direct business idea or viral idea, it's just more so like an obvious opportunity that already exists and will only accelerate more. Um, these these platforms that hold just template apps and just template software based businesses because, yeah, like, they're like, for example, like, Uber for Brazil, Uber for Uganda. I mean, this has already been done. So now the question is like, okay, what other things are there out there that already exist in, maybe the country that you live in, but if you go to a different country, it's not
Mm,
there. So
it's not there.
there's just gonna be more repurposing and remaking of things that already exist.
So like you can copy ideas across geographies, but it's completely legal now because the country's blocking out the the US version or the whatever version, right? We can copy like Chinese technology because they can't compete here, and they can copy our technology because we can't compete there. And it's just basically the same technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.